Overview. Binah is the Divine Mother who tends to her children, leading them toward attainment and comprehension. She is the embodiment of understanding, the one who discerns, becomes aware, stabilizes, and loves, the intuitive one, the very foundation of primordial wisdom. She possesses infinite knowledge, its organization, its form, its potency, guiding its flow through the feminine form. As teacher, she is the hard disciplinarian, potent in her mastery, yet patient and demanding consistency. She instructs in the ways of death, of letting go of that which no longer serves the individual. She expounds upon that which is precious and that which truly matters in the entirety of the scheme of things. She relates to the soul the boundary, the stricture, the limitation, and how to function within them with ease. Her instruction delves into the transition of the immortal soul, its purpose and its being. Her Yetzirahic title is the Sanctifying Intelligence. Through her tutelage, one is consecrated and made holy. She makes separate and devotes one into the sacred, setting apart for a higher end. Holding the third position or path in and on the Sephirotic tree, she is symbolized by the bee, focus, dedication, achievement through hard work, by the lily, purity, innocence, and rebirth, and by lead, the most basic dense nature, which can be alchemically transmuted into the highest nature of gold. Other of her symbols include the dove, hope, peace, love, the raven, ancient wisdom, intelligence, transformation, and the chalice, the one who receives the vital, hallowed spark of life, element of water, womb of the sacred goddess. Her stone is the pearl, perfection and incorruptibility. Her herbs are the cypress, longevity, endurance, mourning, and the poppy, peace, sleep, death. Her fragrance is myrrh, representative of death and of mourning. Mara, the great and bitter sea, vast, unfathomable mother of all living. She teaches her protege how the sorrows of life can be transcended, transformed, and transmuted. Apropos to Saturn's nature, she holds the aspect of triple goddess, the maiden, archetypal, fertile womb, Ima, doting mother, both light and dark. She is nurturer, helping her beloved child to grow into a strong maturity. Lastly, the crone, the supernal one, dark, hidden, veiled, concealing the brilliance of her light. Like Saturn, she works slowly, answering questions one by one. Sometimes she sits in silent quietude, and in her silence she reaches toward you inviting you to be receptive and responsive. Angelic Messengers. Her divine messenger is the Archangel Tzafkiel, whose name means knowledge of God. He is sometimes equated with Zadkiel, known as the alchemist of life, who brings deep spiritual insight. He offers support in personal growth, spiritually and emotionally. The watching one of Binah, the seer, is the wakefulness of the mother, who observes the entirety of a situation, missing nothing. Tzafkiel, the prince of the spiritual strife against evil. He leads the order of angels known as the Aryeh under the banner of planet Saturn within the Sephirah of Binah. These strong and mighty ones are also called the Order of Thrones. Tzafkiel is the cautionary eye of counsel, which advises on all observable points concerning the matter under consideration. He provides all options towards the means for making decisions. The angel Yophiel or Jophiel is also referred to in regard to Binah. Location. In Western esotericism, Binah is the third Sephirah on the Tree of Life, the second conscious power of intellect in creation. She is the first manifestation of the goddess, and thus the first semblance of manifestation of form. The mother of other Sephirot, she is the womb, which gives shape to the Spirit of God. All forms which exist because they derive their root from her. In traditional Judaic Kabbalah, Binah is interpreted as understanding and is also positioned as the third Sephirah on the tree, sitting on the level below Keter, across from Chokhmah and directly above Geburah. Binah is intuitive understanding or contemplation, and is likened to a palace of mirrors that reflects the pure point of light of Chokhmah, wisdom, increasing and multiplying it in an infinite variety of ways. On a psychological level, Binah is processed wisdom, also known as deductive reasoning. It is devar mitoch devar, a thing within a thing, which leads to the understanding of one idea as opposed to another. Chokhmah is the intellect that does not emanate from the rational process, being either inspired or taught. Binah, on the other hand, is the rational process that is innate in the person which works to develop an idea fully. Definitions. The spiritual experience of Binah is the vision of sorrow, which gives to the seeker an understanding of absolute fullness and realization of the journey to be had. It enlightens the adherent of the past, present, and future, of the what that is and was, the why it has come into being, and where it is to become. According to author Gareth Knight, the meaning of grief can be construed as, quote, a purgative and strongly disruptive force, and when the essential work of breaking down adhesions and dispersing poisons has been done by it, it gives place to a deep lassitude and feeling of emptiness which can act as a purified basis for new growth. People are so made that they will not or cannot realize a thing fully unless they are hit in the most vital part in some deep emotional sense, and so only by sorrow and by going from sorrow to sorrow can an individual's evolution proceed. The man who cannot or will not feel sorrow or face it in others cannot proceed at all. Sorrow is best dealt with through Binah's primary virtue of silence. Knight continues, quote, "It is necessary to still all the clamoring noises of the lower levels in order to hear the voice of the spirit, and so the ideal state of form in order to make the vertical contacts is one of quietude. The easiest way to ruin esoteric work is to talk about it." End quote. As the archetypal temple, Binah is the spring of life. She is the root of all temples in manifestation, the inner sanctuary, the sacred space of all spaces. She is the container from which all has been manifested into material form. Associations. According to Israel Regardie, quote, "There is in Binah a thick darkness which veils the divine glory, wherein all colors are hidden within mystery and depth and silence, and yet it is the habitation of the supernal light. The sphere of its operation is Shabbat, or rest. Here it gives forms and similitudes to chaotic matter, and it rules the sphere of action of the planet Saturn." End quote. The Divine Mother, Ima Elohim, the third Sephirah, she is the primal feminine power, called the Grandmother Crone, the dark sterile mother, and simultaneously Ima, the bright fertile mother, and Marah, the great, vast, and bitter sea. Her attributes are: in the body, right side of the head. In regard to colors, in Atzilut, her color is crimson. In Briah, her color is black. In Yetzirah, her color is dark brown. In Asiyah, her color is gray, flecked with pink. In regard to the elements, her element is water. In regard to her magical image, she appears as an old woman with long white hair. Her spiritual experience is the vision of sorrow. Her virtue is silence. Her aspect of the soul is neshama and intuition. Her correspondence in the microcosm is the right side of the face. Her symbols are all vaginal symbols: the yoni, the vesica piscis, the cup or chalice, the outer robe of concealment. Her incense is myrrh. Her magical weapon is the outer robe. Roots. The word Binah derives from the root bain, which means between. The power of Binah is to distinguish and differentiate between ideas. The trait of Binah, the ability to analyze, distinguish, and thereby know the spiritual validity of something, can be applied within perimeters to define and categorize a new experience or situation, and can be utilized as a searchlight of truth and clarity. Binah is the beginning of cosmic time, the foundation of primordial wisdom. Her divine waters rush forth, cascading into the unfoldment of life as they sprinkle downward through each of the planes. Though she is the Sephirah of restriction, that which she binds, the free-flowing force of Chokhmah, she transforms into restricted yet functioning components of embodiment. Without the restrictions of the great and unfathomable Mother, all forward movement would cease and advancement would become negated. Therefore, her destructive qualities are not for nothing, but are instead utilized for the objective of overriding stagnation in order to bring about palingenesis, regeneration, and revivification. She is called the sphere of rest, where the crushing, strangling limitations of death occur, but this destruction is the very thing that clears away the well-worn mechanisms of material existence in order to make way for something new. Binah, the source of primordial wisdom, the root and the foundation, that sanctifying intelligence, the great lady of creation and of destruction.